Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? Right, it's Saturday and today I have got a very nice map. Indeed for you guys. Very nice. Quite heavily detailed, lots going on. An awful lot going on. In fact, I had great difficulty keeping today's episode to just a tad under 26 minutes. I still feel that I have rushed today's episode. There are whole chunks of the map that I haven't properly looked at, and I feel that I've not done my job properly. But I have spent so long just getting to this point. I just don't have enough hours in the day. I need a team. Can I have a team, please? Would you pay for a team for me? That'd be great. Thank you very much. Anyway, before we crack on and do today's map, there's one little thing I need to do first, and that is to get my poking stick out and prod you and remind you it's your daily reminder, guys. Yes, please hit that like button right now, get it out of the way, and then, yeah, you won't have to do it later, will you? Okay, let's crack on and have a look at today's map. It is very nice, guys. It's Riverport by certain death. And that is the one thing, other than taxes, that is guaranteed. Okay, let's have a look at the start square. It looks like that. There's a little bit of infrastructure already in place in the start square. Some of you will not like that. Some of you won't care a jot. The resources are blazoned with colour. They sure are. And what do we need? It's a mass transit map. Okay, you will need the mass transit DLC. If you don't have mass transit, you just have to enjoy today's show. There is a whole host of assets for today's map. There is a one-click collection that you can go straight ahead and just go and click that straight away. We are using the Tropical Beauty theme and the Realistic 1.2 LUT. Realistic 1.2 because it is prescribed, and there is a bunch of LUT and eye candy settings as well, which I have followed to the letter. So hopefully it's going to look exactly like our certain death wants it to. Now, as you can tell, we already have a very nice looking map on the go, and this first intersection does take us directly to the start square, except for we're not going to go that way because it goes through a tunnel, and by going through the tunnel, well, we're not going to see anything, are we? We could skip. Should we just show you? It goes over the hill and it comes out. Oh, wait, over here. There you go. There's your start square there. But we're going to go the long way, if that's okay with you. Not the full long way. Not all the way around the map long way. I just want to show you, though, the tunnel. See the way it emerges down a slope like this? I would have preferred to see that coming out straight rather than down the hill, because basically the hill is just following the hill. It hasn't really gone as a tunnel, it's just followed directly underneath the hill by the looks of it. Anyway, not that you're looking for those sort of things, but I thought I'd point it out because that is what I do. That is why you come to me. Because I'm a little bit like that. Okay, nice detailing on this roundabout, some nice trees. There's a few things that we won't be looking at, like there's a little bit of tree glitching on the tall tree on the edge of the roundabout there. We've got some nice detailing here, some missing bushes, probably caused by the glitching, but I'm not that worried about it because maybe they're deliberately left out. How am I to know on that particular one? Roundabout there, and then that skips on down to the start square, which is all this area here. We've got the infrastructure in place. It's very nicely done. Looks a little bit like an airport, a little bit. It's very nice. Do you like this amount of infrastructure to get you started? I mean, it's helpful, I guess. Saves you a bit of money, I guess. But what if you don't want to do that? You've got to delete it, demolish it, bulldoze it. And if you want to play vanilla rules with all these assets, well, that's kind of like breaks your game instantly. Glitching tree on the left there, but it's only slightly glitching through the side of the concrete. Okay, look at this bridge. Very nice. The rail running underneath it. We'll have a look at the rail obviously a little bit later on. Now this is where things start getting fun. Sorry. We take a little bit of a right turn here. I'm going to try not to bounce around. I'm bouncing around a little bit. I'm trying not to, but there's all sorts of things getting in the way of my camera position, and it just bobble up every now and then. 3 lanes coming down and merging into 3 lanes. Very tidy indeed. Got a little bit of a problem with this intersection. Also 3 lanes into 3 lanes, which is potentially dangerous. But even more so with the sound barrier on the left, where as a driver you're coming along here at 100 kilometers an hour, and you can't see what's coming until it slams into the side of you. So yeah, minor grumble and quibble with that one, but it's still I mean, it's very slick, isn't it? Very, very slick. Down here underneath busy intersection going on here, and then we follow it along. This is basically a one-way ring road. I thought I'd mention that actually. I forgot to mention it. We'll be following. That's the ring road. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Just want to show you at the end of here. It splits into 3 and then merges back into the highways. Okay. So let's follow that one-way ring road. There is stuff. It sounds like it's going to be a bit boring. This, I promise you, it won't be. There's a few things down here to pick up on. For starts, this roundabout, which is got a couple of points on each end. It's more like a lemon about. It's not quite round. It's got points at each end. And again, we've got the sound barriers, which is restricting the vision of the traffic merging into the roundabout. I wouldn't want to be edging out into that. It's not exactly safe. Okay, and then we will follow merging again, 2 lanes and 2 lanes, coming into a 4-lane, one-way ring road. I quite like the idea of this ring road. It's not the longest track either, which is good. And of course, for a Formula 1, you can have Formula 1 weekend here and have the cars going around. This would be a lovely, lovely track. Right angle turn there. That's okay. Okay, a little bit of glitching, road glitching there. Not too bad. And then this roundabout again, the lemon about, as I call it now. Now, I want you to get your eyes peeled for this. There's a little test, not a tease, a little test coming up. And I want you to see if you can spot what's wrong with this intersection. Okay, can you see what's wrong with it? Obviously no traffic, but that's because there's no traffic coming down this way at the moment. Very nicely detailed, very tidily detailed. Yeah, very pretty. Yeah, you agree? Underneath there, it's like a roundabout squeezed in the middle. So it's like dumbbells, yeah. Okay. Now, you will notice in the middle a bit of glitching. You will see the glitching. I guarantee you won't miss the glitching. This isn't what's wrong with it, guys. Okay, although it is what's wrong with it. The glitching there, plus the bit of tunnel that's coming out, cutting over the spin-off road angles that's come over here. Yeah, that little bit of an outcrop of tunnel, that's not good, but that's not what's wrong with the intersection. Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? I'm gonna come down here. Let me show you this vanilla tree. Okay, now let's have a look at that. Have you seen it yet? I'm going to give you a few more moments. So, well, let's speed the simulation up, because rather than going nice and slow as we are now, if we go into faster mode, look, it's windier now, you see, because the simulation. Have you seen it yet? No? Must be someone. No cheating now. No cheating. Let's go. Let me come down to ground level and show you. Okay? Have you noticed that? Hang on, stop for the red light here. Red light. Red light. Now, I don't know if this is the map or just my game, but over this side as well, it's red light over here as well. Let's go back over, see if it's switched over here, and the answer is no. Now, I don't know if it's the map creator or whether it's, I don't know, my simulation of it. It's weird. Anyway, let's come over this side, shall we? Shall we have a look at this instead? This is quite nice as well. Completely different from what you've just seen with the ring road. We've got the dirt tracks and an old abandoned village. An industrial village at that. Down here we've got the abandoned factory. Of course, the abandoned factory. Did you hit the subscribe button? Did you? Never too late, guys. And then I like this. A few houses pushed together with the tower. It's like the old abandoned manor house. I like that. And the tree glitching through it, I think, kind of works. I think we can pretend that it's kind of grown through cracks in the walls. And I buy into that completely, absolutely 100%, all on board with that. I'm not totally on board with this, though. Dirt tracks leading immediately onto 3 lanes. That's a little bit weird, to say the least. But, yeah. I quite like that little village. I was quite entertained by that village. Now, bridges. More bridges. Once again, perfect bridges. Can't grumble. Probably high enough to get a cruiser underneath that if there's a shipping route going up the river, which we will see after the asset review break. Busy intersection again. Lots of traffic going on their way. No clogging with this one. All individual kind of lanes lining out. 2 lanes and 3 lanes. And it's just very smooth and very slick. And Certain Def's done a very good job with the intersections, all hand built, not plopped. Well, it claims not plopped. Maybe some of it might be plopped. Maybe I'd hesitate to suggest. Now there was a little bit of jinky janky somewhere on the road network. Could I find it again when I went back to record the fly through? No, I couldn't. There was at least one bit of minor jinky janky. It wasn't even bad jinky janky. We have tunnels, by the way. Tunnel comes out over here. And it's all very slick and all very detailed. Lots of detailing going on. The tree placements and the forest, the tree selection for the forest is very nice indeed. Let's have a look at the rail. Now we've got an elevated bit of rail here and an elevated tunnel. How often do you get to say elevated tunnel? It's like a rarity. Now I've got to be honest with you. The rail doesn't make a whole bunch of sense to me. I don't know what's going on with the rail. I was saying we're staying elevated here. We come through another tunnel and that one emerges down here. Now this tunnel, it does take a little bit of an elevation drop. It's not a huge drop, but there is a bit of a drop that were it above land, I would pick out and say that's too steep. Because it's hidden in a tunnel, I think we can kind of pretend it's okay. Is that right? Yeah, I think we can do that. We can't really see it dropping so fast, so it's all right. And then this comes through the start square and dead ends right here by the river, and I don't really understand what it's about other than a rail connection to the start square. If we come back the way we were coming though, what we didn't see because we were coming the wrong way was a little bit of blue mantle just up here above the retaining wall. Yeah, a little bit of naughty going on there. Okay, so that's one rail. There's at least 3 lines. There might be a 4th one. I can't remember because I'm trying to remember a lot at the moment. We've got a tunnel coming through here and it emerges over there. And that's okay. That's quite tidy. And then that goes slightly elevated so we can go underneath the bridge. And then underneath the bridge it will stay as we go across the river. Everybody seems to be doing under bridges at the moment. And then it dead ends there. And I don't really understand why or what or why either. And then we've got this 3rd rail line which is going to do roughly the same kind of thing. It's going to hide and then just sort of like stop. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Anyway. Let's move on to better things, different things. It's Saturday, it's asset review, it's quirky review time, and I found something just a little bit different. There you are, dead end. Why? What? Why? Okay, off to Assetville for today's asset review, Asset Corner, and we have got the Badlands Rock Pack by 220Hz. Now we had all those new rocks given to us by Colossal Order with the Parklands DLC. But this is a very nice rock set. This isn't all of it. There's at least another 9 standard rocks. I've got all the interesting shaped ones and a couple of flat ones. When I say flat ones, that makes me think about the stoning scene in Monty Python's Life of Brian. You seen that one? A bag of gravel, 2 flat ones, 1 pointy one, and a bag of gravel. If you've not seen The Life of Brian, you haven't lived. You must watch it. It's so funny. Okay, and what we got then is the Badlands Rock Pack. Very excited. I'm too excited about things. By 220Hz. Very nice set of quirky rocks, and I'm glad we have them on the workshop. Thanks to 20Hz. As we head off to Themington Island for the last time this week, one last look at the Not So Rocky map theme by Carnador with the Definitive Vision LUT. And we'll finish with 2 more cat factoids, because factoids. A Siamese cat survived a 32-day trip in the hold of an aeroplane that had taken it literally around the world. Well, I'm glad it didn't die, because that would have been a catastrophe. Okay, it's enough of the puns, BonBon. The poet Shelley hated cats. He once tied one to the string of a kite. He was flying into a thunderstorm to see if it would be electrocuted. Now, I did say a couple of days ago I am not a cat lover. I don't trust them. I'm not saying I don't like them. They are cute, but I don't trust them. Give me a dog any day of the week. You know what a dog's thinking by what its tail is doing. A cat, well, who bloody knows? Anyway, Not So Rocky, thanks very much, Carnador. A great theme you have produced there. Now, shipping routes back in Riverport by Certain Death. There's a lot of them, and they are pretty much on the smooth side. It gets a bit busy down here, but it does go into all the nooks and crannies, which is a good thing, I guess. And then it does come up here and go up the river. Now, I can't test it without building, but I think this looks just high enough to get a cruiser underneath. This one looks possibly a tad lower by a node or so, but I still think it might just accommodate the cruiser. When you come up the river, you get to this point in the river, and it all about turns, and people can come back with smooth shipping links as well, and takes us back out to sea this way. And then we've got also, if you follow it around this way, shipping route that goes off the edge here. So you would say that everything looks very nice, yes? No. Let's follow this ship here, okay? Where's he going? Well, he's not going off the edge of the map that way, so he's going through the network. And if we follow him, you'll see what I'm going to grumble about. And it makes me cry. Look at the other ship doing exactly the same thing here. This is the shipping route of Zorro. Yeah, so a little right. And then it's going to be a little left. Yes, Zorro. Not Zosso. No. Zosso wouldn't do such a thing as that. It's almost inspired. Also, this cluster will cause loads of ships to crash through each other. Clearly, it's a bit of a muddle there. It's almost very good. Almost. We've got lots of water flow. I think you might be able to see the arrows from space. That's what we've got going on there. I've got no grumbles with the water flow on this map at all. Now, there's lots of things going on, and I'm going to miss a lot of things. First of all, the Essential Lighthouse. Ooh, you can't climb into the Essential Lighthouse. Then we've got this harbour. I'm not too keen on the 2 jetties right beside each other, because it just makes it so obvious that they are just copied of each other's. And I know they're vanilla, I know they are. The forests, the tree mixture, there's a nice tree mixture, different mixtures of heights, of colours, of varieties, and it just makes the forests come to life. And then you go into the hills. We've got more of the pine type trees. It changes the genus of the trees. Genus, is it? Species? Something, I don't know. Some tiered hills there. Loving the hills. The rivers are okay. As you get up into the mountains, these are very pretty. Slightly less so as we get down into the river basin as such, but I do like the rivers up in the mountain. I know it's slightly foggy, but I think that adds to the atmosphere. Not the world's most interesting, exciting waterfall, and I'm not completely buying into the water source, I'm afraid, with that one. It's okay, and it is off in the fog, and it's surrounded by trees, so probably nobody will notice. So we'll just leave it there, shall we? What else have we got going on? We've got this little waterfall. Once again, it's a nice little waterfall. It doesn't do anything for me, though. It just exists. And if you're looking for a 5th star for aesthetics, those are the areas that you've got to make pop. And unfortunately, it didn't pop for me, that waterfall. Over here, we have got a dam already in place. Looks very nice. It's very well done indeed. And down here, we have got power lines already being dragged down from the dam, which is very helpful, I've got to say. And I like the way that they actually go over the highway there. Very tightly detailed. Dead ends down there, a little way short of the start square by looks of it. So I don't know, it's interesting. It's nice to see. Now I'm looking around for things, because there were things that I wanted to find. Like there was some terraced fields, and they were very prettily done, I've got to be honest with you, but I just can't seem to find them now. It's a bit annoying. Loving the hills and the mountains and the rocky crests, all very tidily done as well. I'm looking at the moment for, I'll find it in a minute. Bear with me, guys. There's a big old map with lots going on. Here it is. It's a castle. Ooh, it's a castle. I'm buying into this castle. I like the location, I like the design of it, and yes, I like the fact that we've got a castle gate. We've even got a dirt track leading up to it, and the best thing with this dirt track is, wait for it, it's obsolete. It just gets lost into the trees. I like the way that it's been done, and I've seen other dirt track which is basically like built over with the freeway, which was good to see. We got harbours, of course. Almost forgot the harbours. The harbours are difficult to do in the map editor. I've got to be honest with you, they really are. He's done a pretty good job. Lined them with the footpaths, and it's all very tidy indeed. Speaking of footpaths, if you imagine this being a footpath, you know I said we couldn't get into the other essential lighthouse. Well, there's one up here. If you view this as being a footpath up the ridge, you can get up to this nice tidy area, and you can get into the, ooh, it's an essential lighthouse. And then we've got the gun placements and the machine gun post, and it makes a whole bunch of sense in that location. Completely buying into it. Yes, thank you very much. And then we've got these, well, if 2 was bad, I'm afraid 3 is just awful. On their own, in isolation, those can work very nicely indeed. Really not buying why somebody would have built them right there. Not working for me, sorry. Not working. Rivers, yeah, we're having a look at rivers, S-bending. It's good design. It's very nice design. The whole map is very nicely designed. It's very clearly not a terrain party map, but for a hand designed map, it's just really nicely done. Loving some of the forestry work. Just looking around, see if I can find those fields. Where are those terraced fields? Darn it. Darn it. Can't find it now. It's a bit of an annoyance, but as you can see, there's a lot going on, and this is your chance to vote now. Is it a 1-star map? Be serious now, guys. Is it a 5-star map? Oh, it could be, couldn't it? Or is it somewhere in between? Your chance to vote. Get this one into the viewers choice charts for next month. And I'm just looking around here for a place to settle down. This is pretty down here, this valley. I'm going to use this as the thumbnail. Okay, everybody happy? Let's mark this thing up. Aesthetically, it's very, very, very nice indeed. Does it have the wow factor? Almost. And almost is 4 stars. Like I say, we could have done a little bit more with like the waterfalls and stuff like that to make them pop. But still, very, very nice map. It's a very high 4 stars. Detailing, it's pretty good. Across the whole, Very, very good. And then we've got one or two minor glitches and blue mantles and things like that. And that shipping route's a bit interesting as well. 4 stars. Gameplay potential, I would be inclined to say 5 stars, but I think there's slightly too much pre-built infrastructure in where the city's going to be built. For that, I'm going to lose 1 star down to 4 stars. But it's so close to 5 again. And I've got to give it the BonBonB seal of approval. That's only the 3rd one in the last 2 weeks. So they're pretty hard to come by, and I think that's well deserved, that one. So anyway, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. The thank you cards will be updated on Monday with the list of patrons, and if you want to get your name on one of those cards, just join me over on patreon.com/BonBonB. I'd love to see you there. There's a map on screen that you can vote on now, and you can join me tomorrow for the chart show, because you know you want to, don't you? Yes, you do. Have a great weekend, and thanks for joining me.